Hey, what's up, friends? You got Gypsy back here today with my draft analysis for Season 3 of the CFA. So we just finished Season 2. We had a pretty great season. We ended up taking the championship once again, and we are moving right on to Season 3. um, Not wasting any time, we're jumping right into it. And today I'll be giving you guys the draft analysis, letting you guys know how we went, and, the kind of structure of the team that I've drafted. And I'm pretty excited to be bringing you guys this one. It's a bit different to the teams that I've used in the past. I typically tend to draft more bulky offense. You guys know in CFA Season 1 I drafted that nice Mega Altaria, Crest, Jirachi, Lando I team. It was clean. It was undefeated. Last season we had the Mega Lopunny, Manaphy, Nidoqueen, Zapdos team, which was really clean, I must say. This season we've drafted a bit more offensively, as you guys are going to see as we get into it. And we were second pick in the draft, and as a result, we we basically essentially got what we wanted. First up, I'll discuss that in a second. I just want to mention that in this season of the CFA we've taken on some new coaches. Someone close to home, obviously for me, is Aberforth. He's in the MPL with me, and he's also in the CPC with me. He's a fantastic player. He's a showdown. He's a Smogon Ubers moderator. He's an amazing battler, and he's a very good draft player. So that's very exciting for my boy Aberforth to be in another league with me. And then we've also got a new guy called Connor, who's apparently a really good player, and then another guy called Justin, who is apparently some sort of draft god. So always good to meet another draft fanatic. So I'm looking forward to playing all of them for sure. So yeah, as I said, we were up second in the draft, and we managed to, we discussed banning certain things and whether things should be banned or not leading into the season. And the topic of the Mega Laddies came up. I obviously voted in favor of keeping them because I personally don't think they're ban worthy at all. We have them in the NPL, and none of the teams that utilized Mega Laddie even made it to playoffs. And personally, I think in the right hands, obviously they're very threatening, but I feel as though with the correct drafting and the correct building, you can find ways to check them. Shout outs to the CPC off-season tournament. My check to Mega Laddie was actually Banded Ninjask, so you can get creative. There are definitely ways to check them. But that being said, they are pretty amazing mons in their own right. So as you guys can see, we did manage to secure Mega Ladias in the very first pick. It's a mon that I've wanted to use for a while now, and it's a mon that I really think I can have some great success with, or I hope to anyway. So Mega Ladi, I don't really know, I don't really think I need to go over what it can do. My viewers, I do consider the people who watch my videos to be quite well versed in the way of like competitive Pokemon, and I feel as though the people who watch my videos are pretty damn good themselves. So I'm not gonna like pretend you guys are dumb and explain everything to you, but Mega Latias, for those of you who may not know, is far bulkier than the normal Latias. Whilst Mega Latios loses a lot of power with its Mega Stone, like as opposed to like a Life Orb or a Specs variant, Mega Latias gains a significant amount of special attack, and it gains just ridiculous bulk. As you guys can see, 150 base speed F is just insane. Nice base 120 defense is not to be under appreciated either. That's a lot. Got a really nice speed tier at 110. Pretty nice HP stat. Basically Mega Laddie is just known for its calm mindsets. It's got fantastic utility. It's got a really nice utility move pool as well. And base 100 attack is something to take into consideration. That attack could come in useful. I'm not going to talk about it much, but I'll say that it's not nothing. So the next mod I wanted to pick up was one of my favorites from season 1, a mon that can fulfill so many different roles. A mon that is just amazing in draft and amazing in general. That is Jirachi. I realize you guys can see all of these along here, but I'm just, giving a dramatic little intro into each of them. So Jirachi, amazing mon. Obviously, you can flinch stuff with Iron Heads, but that's really not its best draw. And for those, people who really think that that's what Jirachi can do, I hope to show you the truth. Jirachi can do a lot more than just flinching things with iron heads. It's really versatile. It's a nice calm mind user. It's, you know, a bulky wish passer. It's a nice rock setter. It's a great lure mon. It's a really nice just defensive pivot. And then it's obviously a really nice scarfer. It's a fantastic mon. It's a steel Mew. Basically, it can do different things to Mew, obviously, but it's a fantastic mod. It's not quite as versatile as Mew, but it's still pretty up there. Syringate's obviously being a really solid ability on it. So first up, we've got the Fairy Dragon Steel combo kind of forming. I was considering drafting Togekiss next, not for the flinch core purpose, just purely because it's a fun mod that I wanted to try it for a while. It gives me a Heal Bella, it gave me another ground resist. However, it really does add to my ice weakness, which is something that, you know, I really wanted to kind of stray away from this draft. So next up, I picked another really fun fairy that I've been wanting to draft for ages, and that is Azumarill. Azumarill is such an awesome one. It has access to 3 great abilities. Huge power is what you're going to typically be seeing it run. It's huge power. Huge power Azu is just such a huge threat. Belly drum, banded, you name it. Assault vest. This thing can do a lot of different roles. It's a fantastic breaker. The fact that you have to prep for its huge power set, for its band or its belly drum set, just put huge pressure on building. I know, speaking from experience, having built against Azu in every single league that I've been in, it's a nightmare for certain drafts that don't have a solid answer to it. It forces speed creeping from certain like grass types. It's disgusting to play against, and it's nice to have it on the team. It's one that I've really wanted to exploit for a while now and haven't had a chance to. So pretty excited to be picking it up. It's got some very nice bulk on it too. Nice base 100 health, which is very nice. Supported by some pretty decent defensive stats. Next up, I picked a mon that is a very nice budget pick. This was a point-based draft. I didn't mention this, but it was a point-based draft. We had 110 points, and I figured that I'd blow my points on offense and make up for defense from lower tier mons, because, you know, that's what we do on my channel. We use Stunfisk, we use Tangler, we use Slowpoke. We don't care that they're low tier mons. They still put in the work. But I wanted my offense to be nice and powerful. But first, I picked a mon that was like a lower tier pick, but it's a mon that actually, in the draft meta, I feel as though there is a draft meta. It's something I've been talking about with my friends. That might be something for another video, but I feel as though the way the meta in the draft community, I want to say meta because I feel as though the draft community is really growing, and I feel as though there is a meta forming, and the rate in which, the order in which Sneasel is getting drafted is increasing. It's, you know, typically, you know, last year you'd see it get drafted very late in the draft. Now people are realizing in these point-based drafts anyway that Sneasel has a lot of utility for a lot of teams, acting as like a young Weavile essentially. You guys know what Weavile has done for me in the NPL, so yeah, I love Weavile, and I love its little baby brother Sneasel. I feel as though it can put in a lot of work. A very nice speed tier at 115, outspeeding stuff like the Luddies, outspeeding Superior, things like that. Very nice mon. 95 attack with a Life Orb is a very powerful hitter. You know, obviously it's no Weavile, but it's still pretty solid. And just a very nice mon. Very nice speed control. Nice priority with Ice Shard. And you know, we've got some nice priority building up. We got the Aqua Jet and Azumarill. Got the Ice Shard and Sneasel, and we're going to be adding to that as the draft continues. So not too much to add about Sneasel. Obviously, like, I'm building a nice sort of defensive offensive synergy between these two, but there is between these four, there is decent defensive synergy too. You know, I got fighting resists, I got ice resists, I got dark resists. You know, we're getting there. I got ghost resist in Sneasel as well. Nice pursuit trapper for the ghost types and the psychic types. Next up, we picked up a mon that I've been wanting to try for a long time. A very fun mon, arguably the best electric type in the draft format, and that is Thundurus. Thundurus Therian. That is, you know, it's debatable which Thundurus variant is the superior of the two, but I really felt as though this breaking power from this sheer 145 base attack is just too hard to pass up. Volt Absorb it acts as a you know, as an electric immunity for the team, which is very nice. Synergizes very nicely with Azumarill. It's another ground immunity as well, so it provides 2 nice immunities. It's just a very nice one, sitting at 101, a very nice speed tier. You know, it's not the greatest, but it does allow me to outspeed base 100s, which is very important. And that's, you know, that could potentially come in clutch, because you do see a lot of base 100 mons getting drafted on a lot of teams. So I was pretty happy to pick up Thunderous. A very nice mon. Really looking forward to messing around with it. It's got nice mixed attacking stats as well. It's certainly not limited to a especially attacking move pool. Its move pool is nice and vast. Same as Thunderous Eye. So obviously stuff like Superpower, Knockoff, U-Turn. Yeah, you guys know what Thunderous does. And next up we get Lucario. Lucario is a mon that has, you know, very little switch-ins to this monster. Very few switch-ins in the draft meta. You know, the fact that you can customize it to your opponent just makes it that much scarier. These mixed attacking stats are very nice, with amazing priority in the form of E-Speed, Bullet Punch, Vacuum Wave, Spammable Stab in close combat. It's got very nice Aura Sphere. It's got nice special coverage. Its special attack is actually higher than its physical attack, which is interesting. It's just a very scary mod to deal with. It's a nice late game cleaner. It's a nice breaker if you want to slap a choice band on it, or even just a life orb. You know, it's just such a great mon. It's such a fun mon in draft, and with the rest of the offensive pressure, my first 5 can put on the opponent. Lucario is really looking like it can sweep a lot of teams. You know, put in the work, picking off threats late game after Azu's had its way with him. Or Mega Luddy has punched some holes in the team with a nice Calm Mind sweep. So that is the first half of the team, quite offensive. I'm going to pause it here and we'll get back with the second half of the team. Alright, we are back, and Slowbro was my 7th pick of the draft. Slowbro is a mon that I feel just adds so much to the team. It adds a really nice fighting resist. Slowbro, like, it's such an amazing defensive mon. That Regenerator mixed with its like incredible bulk on the physical side. Special bulk isn't too bad either. Base 80 Spit F is really nice. It's not something to, you know, just ignore. AV variants are definitely viable in certain matchups. 100 base special attack means that it's going to be hitting relatively hard with its stab, even when uninvested. And just being a nice bulky pivot with Regenerator is going to be very key. It does add to my Dark type weakness, you know, through Jirachi and Megaladias, but I do have stuff like Lucario to punish knockoff spam, things of that nature. I also have Sneasel and Azumarill to act as, you know, pseudo dark resist as well. Slowbro is just bulky enough to be able to take knockoffs as it is anyway. It lives a knockoff from Weavile. It's bulky if physically defensive. It's a very solid mon with a really nice move pool. Access to stuff like Trick Room, meaning Slowbro is a very nice Trick Room sweeper, you know, when invested. Regenerator is just so clutch. Regenerator really makes Slowbro the great mon that he is, being able to switch in, take a hit, pivot out, healing it all back up. Next up, I wanted a nice electric immunity. A returning member from Season 2 that I really didn't get a chance to use a lot at all. It's a mon that I didn't get to do justice, and I felt really bad for that, so I wanted to pick it up one more time, and that is Pillar Swine. Pillar Swine is such a good mon, very nice Violet user. This base 100 HP really makes it that much bulkier when combined with a Violet. Base 80 defense plus a Violet means this thing is just so fat on the physical side. As you guys can see, 284, and then, you know, you multiply that by 1.5, and this thing is over 400 in, you know, it's almost at 5. It's just ridiculous how bulky this thing is. And a especially defensive set is definitely viable. Chewing hits from every electric type in the format with amazing mixed bulk, thanks to a Violet. It's a very nice Stealth Rock user, another nice priority user with Ice Shard, which will be really nice for the dragons like Garchomp. You know, Oblivious means it can't be taunted, which makes it that much of a better Stealth Rocker. Thick Fat means that it loses its Fire type weakness essentially, and it actually gains an immunity to Ice type, which is not an immunity, a resistance to Ice type, which is very nice. So another ice immunity on the team if I do opt to go with that ability. And very solid attacking stats too. Like, as you guys can see, base 100 in attack. That's pretty solid. That's just as good as Slowbro special attack. So definitely not a passive mon at all. A nice powerful bulky rocker. It's going to add a nice electric community to the team. Next up, I wanted to pick up Torkoal. I was running out of points at this stage in the draft, so my points were getting low. As you guys can tell with my last few picks. Torkoal offers a fire typing to the team, which is pretty nice. I'm not one of those people who believes you have to have like a fire, water, grass core, or like you have to have each of every single type to succeed in drafts. You don't. Like, I'll just say it now. All it takes is good building and being a good player. But picking up a fire type is good. It's always nice. I won't be bringing Torkoal to many matches probably, but it does give me a secondary form of hazard removal outside of Mega Laddie. It's another nice bulky rocker. Same defensive base stat as Skarmory, to put it into perspective. So it's very bulky. Obviously, fire typing is a garbage defensive typing, so this thing is nowhere near as bulky as Skarm in that sense. Flying Steel is just amazing defensively, so that's why Skarmory is so good. But it is still pretty solid mon. Base 85 in attack and special attack is not too bad. Base 20 in speed. It's nice and fast mon. On a Trick Room. But apart from that, yeah, Torkoal is pretty average, but he's a cool mon. He's a nice meme pick. White Smoke meaning he can't be his stats lowered. Shell Armor meaning he can't be stocked by crit. That's probably the ability you'd be wanting to run anyway. Pretty nice mon, pretty nice budget pick. Next up I picked Licky Tongue, the Lord. Young Licky, nice and fat with a Violet. Defensive stats reaching ridiculous numbers. Just like we mentioned with Piloswine, essentially like just 5 points off Piloswine's defense, but 15 more in Spidef. So very, very nice mon, nice and fat tank. Very nice. He has really good boosting options actually with Sword Stance. He's got nice coverage in knockoff and power whip, things of that nature. Special attack is actually pretty decent, 60. It's not too bad. Meaning stuff like Ice Beam versus stuff like Guard Chomp will actually be doing a decent amount. A nice phaser with Dragon Tail. A very nice utility user, adds a cleric to the team and a wish passer. A pretty solid mon. It fills a role that I needed. Not too much to say about Licky Tongue, but I feel as though it could do something. I was just kind of using up my last points at this stage in the draft. But the next mon that I picked was a mon that I've wanted to try for a while. It's a nice budget grass pick. It's nice to have a bulky grass up on your team because you never know when you could need it. And that is Groddle. Groddle. People are going to laugh at this. People are going to say, why the fuck would you draft this, you pleb? But Groddle is actually pretty fat. It's got a nice HP stat, nice defense. More defense than Piloswine actually. With a Violet, it's pretty fat. Can take special hits really nicely with its Spidef, considering that it is a Violet user. Pretty nice mon. It can actually set up itself. A nice curse set. It's actually a stealth rocker, despite the fact that it's just a pure grass type, which is pretty interesting. So I have a lot of reliable stealth rockers on my team so far, and it's just nice to have a grass type. You never know when it can come in handy. And the last mon on my team, you guys can see here, we have Stunky. I had to pick up Stunky. It gives me another defogger. It gives me a way to absorb toxic spikes, which is crucial when you have a whole lot of grounded mons like I do here. All these mons are grounded, so having a nice defogger, having a nice toxic spike immunity, something to absorb those is nice. It's obviously defog users, as I said. With the Violet, again, this thing is pretty bulky. It doesn't have the best bulk, but we give it a Violet, and it's when invested, its defense is over 300, so it's pretty decent. Nothing to write home about, but it's actually pretty fast for a not fully evolved mon. And like I said, I've used Slowpoke in draft to great success. That's Slowpoke, and there's no reason why these little baby Pokemon can't work either. So that is my draft. Obviously, the first half is a bit more exciting than the second half. These meme picks, they may put in work, they may not. That remains to be seen, but nonetheless, I hope I will bring you guys some exciting matches throughout the Season 3 of CFA. It's looking to be the most competitive season yet, so I hope you guys are hyped. Like, the competition within the league grows and grows and grows. It's gone from, everyone in the league from Season 1 onwards, they're all great players, and I really, from what I've seen, they've all grown as players, they've all improved with each season, so that's really exciting to see. Some of those guys I've known for a while now really get better. We've got TCMTL, who's actually been in there from Season 1. He's actually now in the NPL minors, which is pretty amazing. Which is very exciting. We have Juiced. Juiced is like the co-owner of the league. He's an amazing draft player. He's actually, you guys know this, like he was in the finals last season with me. He's in the CPC with me, as well as his brother Paul, who's also in the CPC with me. So, and as I said, we got Aberforth and the two new guys, Connor and Justin, who are apparently really good. Then you got Jake. I don't want to leave anyone out. They're all amazing guys. They're all really cool dudes. They're good friends of mine. Harry, Matt. Oh, fuck, no, I gotta say everyone, or I'm gonna offend someone. And you got Noah, who's an awesome dude. You've got, and the last guy is Ghost Flame 92, Liam. He was out last season, but he was in season 1 as well. He's actually our first match in season 1. He seems like a really nice guy. I don't know him that well, but he's back for season 3, so that's awesome. So, guys, definitely stay tuned for CFA, because although it's not the NPL, it is definitely getting more and more competitive each season, and it's exciting. These guys are really good players, and we've drafted a pretty fun team, and hopefully we can have some fun with it and make it to another championship. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to click the like button and let me know in the comments what you guys think of the team. I'll see you next time.